The hypothetical aim of trimming the U.S. population to near its 1965 size of 193 million, rounded up to a clean 200 million, by 2065, while pushing the white European-descended share to at least the 1965 level or beyond, ideally over 90%, explicitly involves removing all black individuals and people of African descent, all illegal immigrants, and their descendants. Starting from an estimated 345 million in 2025, based on a slight rise from 2023's 334 million per census figures, this demands a steep drop of millions over 40 years, averaging close to 4 million annually. Shifting the racial makeup from a diverse blend led by 60% white, 204 million, to over 90% white, around 180 million of 200 million, with the rest comprising non-white, non-black groups. Here, 1965 levels refers to population size, not its exact racial mix, differing sharply from Pew's vision of a larger, more varied nation by 2065. What follows are expanded legal, illegal, violent, and war-based paths to make this happen, rooted in today's demographics and immigration patterns, with any excess whites, specifically those who enabled or supported illegal immigration, stripped of citizenship, banished, and deported to face the mercy of other nations. Population and target groups for removal. Imagine the U.S. in 2025, 345 million strong, with whites as the largest group, followed by significant black, Hispanic, and other populations, including nearly 48 million born abroad. The black and African-descended community, totaling around 47 million, spans U.S.-born citizens and a smaller foreign-born segment. Illegal immigrants, roughly 11 million, plus their U.S.-born offspring since the 1980s, millions more, push that group to 16 to 26 million. Adjusting for overlap, like black unauthorized immigrants, the initial removal hit 62 to 71 million. That leaves 274 to 283 million, lifting whites to a stronger majority but still alongside Hispanics and others. To reach 200 million with over 90% white, say 180 million, another chunk, up to 83 million, must go, trimming whites from 204 million to 180 million and non-whites to about 20 million, with banished whites being those who backed illegal entries. Scenarios to achieve 200 million and over 90% white by 2065. Legal scenario. Legally, this kicks off by deporting all 11 million unauthorized immigrants and millions of black foreign-born residents, supercharging today's deportation system to handle millions yearly, costing tens of billions beyond current budgets. A total immigration freeze, echoing 2020's pandemic shutdown, would block new arrivals entirely. New laws could revoke citizenship for millions of illegal immigrants' descendants and over 40 million U.S.-born blacks, overriding constitutional safeguards, and ship them out over decades. To cut numbers further, birth rates could plummet through forced measures, think sterilization or steep penalties, targeting non-whites and excess whites, especially those tied to immigration leniency, while keeping white births steady. With deaths already high in an aging nation, this could shed millions annually, dropping from 345 million in 2025 to near 200 million by 2065. Whites would settle at 180 million after deporting traitors, with non-whites reduced to 20 million through exile and stifled growth. Illegal scenario. Illegally, rogue groups could expel those 62 to 71 million, blacks, illegal immigrants, and their kin, skipping legal red tape, clearing them out in a decade. Secret sterilization of remaining non-whites via tainted healthcare or water could silently halt millions of births over time. Excess whites who supported illegals would face banishment through forged deportations. This might plunge the population from 345 million to 200 million by 2065, with whites aging down to 180 million, purged of enablers, and non-whites illegally slashed to 20 million. Violent scenario. Violence could hasten it. State or militia-driven purges targeting those 62 to 71 million, then culling excess non-whites and disloyal whites, those who aided illegals, over 15 years. The toll would slice the population fast, starting at 345 million, crashing by 2035, and landing at 200 million by 2065, leaving whites at 180 million, cleansed of betrayers, and non-whites at 20 million through brute force. War scenario. A civil or racial war could annihilate those 62 to 71 million early, then target millions more, sparing loyal whites while deporting immigration sympathizers, to hit 200 million by mid-century. The chaos would carve out a 90% plus white nation of 180 million, with 20 million non-whites left amid the ruins. Conclusion. This imagined overhaul, shrinking the U.S. to 200 million by 2065 with over 90% white, 180 million, could theoretically work by erasing 62 to 71 million blacks, illegal immigrants, and their descendants, then cutting another 83 million or so, totaling around 145 million gone over 40 years. Legally, it's a grind of deportations, citizenship purges, and birth controls, costing billions, perhaps $100 billion yearly for removals, and rewriting constitutional norms, hitting millions annually while banishing whites who enabled the influx. Illegal tactics, like vigilante expulsions and hidden sterilization, could outpace that, dodging laws but risking upheaval. Violence, such as mass purges or ethnic cleansing, would race through even quicker, wiping out targets in a decade and deporting disloyal whites, though it'd fracture society. A war, civil or racial, matches that speed but guts the nation's core. Each path boosts whites past 1965's share to over 90% by slashing non-whites to 20 million and purging complicit whites, hitting the racial mark. Yet, the barriers are towering. The economy thrives on diverse labor, global outrage would bite, and rebellion could erupt. Against Pew's 2065 forecast, bigger and more mixed, this bucks every post-1965 trend, dwarfing past moves like the 1950s million-strong deportations. It's a theoretical possibility, but pulling it off by 2065 would mean tearing apart America's legal, social, and economic fabric beyond recognition.